My audience. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I am going to be discussing with you my idea for the suggestion to modify our flex time policy in an effort to improve work-life balance for our employees. So first thing I'm going to do is go over our agenda. We are going to start today with our analysis, move on to our problem, then we're going to talk about my recommendation, the impact of this solution, and end today on the conclusion. So to get started here, first thing we're going to discuss is the analysis. So we were tasked with finding ways to improve work-life balance for our employees. Now, some of the most important things that we are going to review and discuss when considering ways to do this is look at things like our policies, protocols, employee morale, and things like productivity and profitability of the company. Our employees' morale is directly related to the productivity and profitability, as well as turnover rates and costs for our business. So we really need to assess things that we can change within our control in an effort to improve the work-life balance for our employees. And as the leadership team, it is ultimately our responsibility to make sure that our employees are well taken care of and they feel satisfied in their job roles. Which leads us to the problem at hand, why we are here today. So, when we got the results for our Press Ganey survey this year, it showed that we had a 15% decrease in overall employee satisfaction rates with the work-life balance compared to last year's Press Ganey survey. So, what are things we can do? Well, the two biggest areas of grievance that our employees and team members brought to us were their complaints and issues with our PTO policy, as well as our flex policy. Now, what can we actually do that's within our control? Well, the PTO policy is set by the hospital executive board. We have no control over the PTO policy. However, the flex policy is within our control, and it's something that we can modify in an effort to improve that work-life balance for our employees. So, as I had stated previously, the big takeaway here with our problem is that our two main areas of dissatisfaction are the PTO and flex policy. So, how are we going to fix this? Well, this is my recommendation. My suggestion is to modify the flex policy to allow team members to now begin flexing on Mondays and Fridays. As you all know, our old or current flex policy states that team members are only allowed to flex Tuesdays through Thursdays. They are allowed to make up that flex time on Mondays or Fridays, but they cannot flex on Mondays or Fridays. My suggestion, like I previously mentioned, is to now begin letting these employees flex on both Mondays and Fridays. So this would be a great improvement to our employee morale. I think that this would really be a great response. It is something that we can modify and change that is within our control. And it is something that team members have voiced that they currently have issues with. So it's something that definitely is worth giving a shot to see if it has a positive impact, which I definitely truly believe that it will have an overall positive impact on our team, our morale, our profitability, and potentially decrease our costs and our turnover rates. So our impact, definitely several positive impacts that will come from this, like I just mentioned. We're going to have an increase in our employee morale. If you have happy employees, they're going to want to stay with the company. They're going to feel satisfied. They're going to feel like their needs are being heard. So if you have happy employees, when we have our next results or our next Press Ganey survey for next year, we're going to have an increased response or a improved response on that satisfaction rate with employee work-life balance. Additionally, we're going to see reduced costs. If your employees are happy, they want to stay, so you don't have to spend the money on turnover and hiring new team members to train them and fill those empty roles. Additionally, we'll have increased profitability. You'll have employees who are long-standing or long-term employees who have a better understanding of the business, so you have a reduced possibility for errors and costly mistakes. And inherently, that will result in increased profitability for the company because you'll be able to produce at a higher output. So overall, we are expecting a positive change with the implementation of this new flex policy that will positively impact our employees, our overall organization, and our department. In conclusion, we have an obligation as leaders for our employees to care for them and seek ways to improve our organization. If you have happy employees, you're going to have improved morale, less turnover, reduced costs, increased profitability, and the happy cycle continues. Thank you everyone for joining me today.
That was great.